What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the local meta report here in St. Louis, Missouri. I, of course, am Brad, aka the mayor of Lorcana and co-host of the Rules of Villainy podcast. This is a video series, however, where each and every week I bring to you the latest and greatest in Disney Lorcana winning decks here in the area from all the different stores that host us week to week and have a great time playing it, and all the great players who are generous enough to share their decks with me to bring you this content. I have 3 decks for you tonight, 2 of them from Core, 1 of them from Infinity. However, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping first because we have a lot of big things coming up that I'm hoping you guys come along for the ride on. Starting on June 6th at 11 a.m. at Impact Gaming Center, we are proud to be streaming their set championship once again, and we always have a huge turnout. We always have great Disney Lorcana to bring to you, hoping that you check that out. If you are local, sign up from the link below. Come hang out with us. Come play. It is always a blast. If you want to watch it remotely, it will be right here on this channel, the Rules of Villainy channel, and co-streamed on the Impact Gaming Center Twitch channel as well. So definitely check that out. Come say hi and hang out with us in the chat if you can't make the event and see some great Disney Lorcana. The week following, more importantly to us as an entity, as the Rules of Villainy, we are having our 100th episode of the podcast, and we're doing it live Friday night, June 12th. I think it's 7:00 p.m. I don't know that that's in stone yet. Central time. We hope that you join us on our live stream right here on YouTube as we reflect on the last year and a half of us doing this, and just all the memories we've made and everything we look to do in the future, including the set championship season, which we will already be in, DLC Indianapolis, and just what we want to do as content creators and bring to you and reflect on all of that. It's just going to be a blast. We hope you tune in, and we'll probably have some giveaways for that as well. So again, Friday night, right here on YouTube, June 12th at 7:00 p.m. Central. Come hang out with us. We'd love to see you. And finally, one more live event back at Impact Gaming Center 2 days later. We are going to have another tournament on Sunday, June 14th, I believe at the same time as the set championship, 11 a.m., and it's going to be Infinity. I'm not sure what the pricing is yet, but it's going to be a big Infinity tournament to get everybody here locally ready for DLC Indianapolis a week later. We will be streaming that again right here on YouTube and the Impact Gaming Center Twitch channel. We hope that you tune in, come out, hang out with us here in the chat, hang out with us in person, come play with us. It's going to be a blast. Definitely check that out. But that's a lot of talking about us. Let's talk about the great players who went 3-0 this week here in St. Louis. All right, our very first deck of the week comes to you by way of the Collector Store out in St. Peters, Missouri. My friend and yours, the one and only Rudros, getting it done with what he calls Blue-Green Set 11. Yeah, let that sink in. Set 11. I know it's only one set ago, but we just had set 12, Wilds Unknown drop. I said, Travis, my friend, where are the new cards? I would like to see some new cards. I get new cards. I want to play with new cards. He goes, nay, peasant, quiet you. I don't need new cards. I can get it done with the deck that I have. And he certainly did. This is a meme deck that we all know about. We've seen this deck be very successful, different variations of it from time to time. This one running nothing unusual. Except what's made its way into this this build in the last several iterations is Ink Geyser, which is such an absolute menace. It is a 3-cost uninkable action, dual ink, so it is color locked to this color pairing. So each player exerts all of their cards in their inkwell. Then each player with 3 or more cards in their inkwell returns cards at random from their inkwell until they only have 3 cards in their inkwell. Inkwell is written in there quite a bit, but you get the point. It just blows up your inkwell, leaves you with 3. Often at times while the opponent, or while you playing Ink Geyser, has Clarabelle on board, has a John Silver on board, has whatever, big cards out there that you can't deal with 3 ink. You might be sitting there with 8, 9 cards and feel like, oh great, I needed cards in my hand, but you don't have the ink to hit the heavy hitters, and they're just going to keep drawing off of that giant Clarabelle. I should say giant Clarabelle, but the shift Clarabelle, light on her hooves, is sitting out there drawing cards at the end of turn for every card in the opposing player's hand. And the meanest thing in this deck, very unlike Rudros to play a card like this, is Bend to My Will, a 7-cost uninkable action that each opponent discards all cards in their hand. So he likely draws into that. He can ramp or draws into that after the Ink Geyser. After Clarabelle's on board and you're drawing cards for all the cards in your opponent's hand, you find a Bend of My Will. You can ramp again with all the Sailed, the Azurite Seas. Cinderella on board gets you an extra ramp if you play another princess. You're building up that Inkwell a lot quicker than your opponent, and then you're just making them throw all their cards in the discard. Travis, that is so mean. And on top of that, you just play Malicious, Mean, and Scary, a 3-cost inkable song that allows you to put 1 damage on all opposing characters, just to shift into the Prince Philip 6/6 quest for 3 that banishes all damaged characters upon entry. Just a mean deck. I am shocked, honestly, that he's not running the new Milo Thatch. I've seen that pop up in this deck quite a bit in place of the Basil Undercover. Undercover Detective. Milo Thatch is a really fun card. Getting his hands dirty, 5/5 quest for 3 with Ward. And I think the Ward is what just seals the deal on this card, because after an Ink Geyser, you cannot do anything to this card. And he just continually quests for 3 until you have something on board to deal with it. And it's going to take a lot to get up to that part if this Milo is established. He does have 2 abilities with his character. When you play this character, you may choose and discard a card to return it chosen character to their player's hand. So it's a little bit worse than Basil there. But at the end of your turn, if 2 or more cards were put into your discard this turn, you can draw a card, so you do get it back. So there's a little bit of a payoff there. I think this card is great. I recommended it to Travis. He said, nay, I don't need that. And it proved it by winning without it this week. Congratulations to you, my man. I'm glad to see you playing again and hopefully having fun with it. So that is it for Tuesday night. Let's move on to Thursday. And here it looks like ROV Linc, Little Linkswell himself, got it done at Manticore Game Shop in O'Fallon, Missouri with Blurple. He calls every dream needs a team, and his team consists of some very standard Blurple cards here that he plays absolutely well. He had a little bit of bad luck a couple weeks, or I guess last week when I played him. He could not draw into the cards he needed. Felt really bad in that round 2. But this week he bounced back and showed what a great player he is. I know that he played Ruby, Steel, Gargoyles. I know he played Chip. I'm assuming he played Chip there. He played Ruby, Amber Toys, which is a hard matchup with Jason behind that. I'm assuming is Jason. And he played Dogs, I believe, in the first round and got through all 3 of them there. I don't have the details of how the matches went. I just know those were his matchups. Looking at the newer cards from this set, we are running 4 of the 1-drop Fairy, which is Fauna. She is just a clone of the 2/1 Basil Detective with support. She is a 2/1 Fairy with support that quests for 1. Another one of the new cards here, of course, is her, I guess they're sisters, the fairies here. Merryweather at the 4-cost inkable slot with Ward, 4/5 quest for 1. Just a great body to come out there and swing away, hold some damage so you can move it away with the Cheshire Cat that, of course, is a 4 of in this deck. I also like the Merryweather because it kind of gives a little bit of protection if you need to run, or if you need to build up your board to sing Second Star on the Right, which is a 1 of in here. It's a 10-cost uninkable sing together song that allows you to draw 5 cards. So I do think Merryweather and her Ward helps set that up. If able, he only has 1 of those in here. If he's in a dire need for cards, that does help quite a bit. But the other new card in here, I think the only other new card from set 12 is the Mrs. Incredible, which I believe we talked about 2 weeks ago when Linc was on this report as well. Super stretchy 5/6 quest for 1. And at the start of your turn, this character either gains evasive or this character gains 1 more this turn. So you get that choice at the start. Very flexible indeed. I love the card design centered around that character to allow you to flex it up on what you need to do to be successful with her on board. Everything else here is what you expect. You got your turn 2 ramp with the 4 of Tipo, 4 of Sail. Those aren't going anywhere until rotated out. I would be absolutely shocked if either of those are reprinted, but we will see in the weeks to come as we prepare for Attack of the Vine. Hades 4 of 3 of at the 5-drop, making room for that Mrs. Incredible there for the 5-drop Hades. But yeah, everything else here looks pretty standard, and Linc runs it better than anybody. So congratulations to you, my man. Happy to see you back up here at the top. And finally, back on Friday night at the Collector Store, we have our Infinity Night where Nick got it done with Green Steel Infinity. And this is, of course, Nick, the second half of Lorcana Collections. We saw Lily on here just a couple weeks ago. Definitely go check out their content. I will hawk that every time that they are on here because there's such great wholesome content of making pack openings a lot of fun by creating little games and just having a great time with it. Definitely check that out. Link in the description. Let's talk about this sociopathic deck that he is running here. It is the Emerald Steel discard deck, and he's got some tools in here to make it even more annoying. I didn't really mean you're a sociopath, Nick. You know I love you, but I hate sitting across from this deck. And for the reasons being of this specific one, of course, he opens with the Diablo lines where he can peek at your hand. I've always actually hated that card more than the Diablo Shift because it allows him to plan out the rest of his next turns to know exactly what he needs to do to survive and keep his birds alive. One addition from Wilds Unknown that he did add is the new Diablo. He is a 2-cost uninkable, or 2-cost inkable, I apologize. Stone Servant. He is a 1/3 with 2 abilities. Quest for 1. Cruel Intent. While you have a villain character in play, this character gets +2 strength and +1 lore. So he becomes a 3/3, but he quests for 2. And more importantly, Villainous Bond. While this character is exerted, your villain characters cannot be challenged. And he has villains galore in here. So it's you know what, I didn't realize before recording this, but if he could decide to turn his Prince John sideways here now and quest for that too. That Prince John has been a totem for so long, coming out just to get the draw engine going for discarding your opponent and drawing off of the Prince John and never questing because he's warded and you can't choose him to do anything. But now with Diablo on board, if that Diablo is protected from, say, a bodyguard like the Headless Horseman, Relentless Spirit, Prince John can safely quest even. It's insane. This is actually really, really gross, Nick, and I don't ever want to sit across from you with this. But yeah, so Diablo's out there. We got the villains, of course, with Ursula, Prince John, Pete, the Headless Horseman. Wait a minute, hold on. Your villain characters can't be challenged. So let's rewind now. So Prince John can turn sideways. The Headless Horseman can't be challenged as a bodyguard if the Diablo. How does this work? I need to know how this works because this is insane. The Headless Horseman is a villain. The Diablo character allows villains to not be challenged. So this is gross. This is absolutely gross. And you're hearing this in real time, what I'm figuring out here, or what I'm suspecting is the case. Please correct me in the comments below. I am shooketh at that combination there. But let's move on. The other new cards in here, I think there's only one. There's two other new cards. One of them being Lenny, the toy binoculars. He's a 0/2 with Take a Good Look. He's another Ursula at the 3-drop, though. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards an action card of your choice. So not just songs, any action. And then once during your turn, whenever you play an action, you may ready this character. And I believe Nick is running 20-ish actions here to always ready up that Lenny. He doesn't hit for anything back, but you can protect him by just turning him back up again, unless they target it with a strength or some other choosing ability to take it out. But absolutely gross looking at this deck now, and it's kind of scary, especially now that the muses are back in the Infinity format here, which is awarded 2/4 that quest for 1. But the biggest strength of this card is that whenever you play a song, you may return a chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. So it is another removal tool, and you can even use it on yourself if you need to bounce like an Ursula back to snipe a song that you know they have because you peaked with Diablo, or all kinds of little things here. He does have one thing which is interesting. The 2-cost song has Set My Heart. Looking for a little bit of item hate there because items are going to be absolutely insane in Infinity as we approach the DLC. It only gets rid of a chosen item, but if you can snipe a Maurice's Workshop early or something, that would have some good benefits there. But if they don't have any cards to play from the discard package of Prince John and everything, then you might not need that. But I do like that being teched in. The one last card from Wilds Unknown that I do want to mention is Keep the Ancient Ways, which is just 2 more Petes. We have 4 Petes, the 3-cost inkable that stops all actions until the start of your next turn. And now you have 2-cost inkable Song that is opponents can't play actions or items until the start of your next turn. So more item hate there, if you will, or item preventables, but action preventables for sure. So strong deck. Not I don't have his matchups, but not surprised to see him doing well with it. I guess I should probably mention this Max Goof as well. Rebellious Teen 2/2. When you play this character, you may pay 1 ink to return a song card with 3 cost or less from your discard to your hand. And because he has 2 strength, he is bounceable with your own muses. So you're pulling stuff out of your discard, replaying Sudden Chill, replaying whatever else. But yeah, I'm going on too long about this, and I'm actually disgusted. I'm disgusted with you, Nick, that this deck seems so good, and I'd love to see it in action. Double sing Ursula, so you can sing these songs twice, is just insane. A little bit anti-synergistic with the Max Goof, if that song goes to the bottom of your deck after the second sing. But yeah, no surprise that you went 3-0. I'm going on too long about this. Would love to hear your thoughts on this deck and have a powwow about this. I don't want to sit across from this. I'm done. I'm done talking about it. Congratulations to Nick. Go check out Lorcana Collections right here on YouTube. That's going to do it. That's going to wrap up this very short week of decks here in the St. Louis area. A few places didn't fire. We didn't have any 3-0s at Bodax on Thursday night with a very short crew. Four people played Thursday night as others were traveling out to Charlie's Collectible Show. So no 3-0 decks there. If you want to hear about Andy's Sapphire Emerald items deck, maybe he'll talk about it on the podcast this week. Just a little bit of incentive to check it out. If you don't, we have a lot of fun over there. Thank you to everybody who submitted their decks to allow me to celebrate you and your success playing this great game. And, shout out the stores that we hit, the great stores that we have here in the area week after week after week, always having somewhere to play Disney Lorcana. Thank you for tuning in to these videos week after week. If this is your first time here, this is just one of many things we do here on this channel. Of course, we have we have Deck Test Tuesdays where Andy and Kirsten do live streams, and then we have the podcast proper dropping every Friday. Ironically, this weekend it was Saturday. We had a lot on our plate. Couldn't get it out to you on time, but a good reminder here that we are having some live events coming up, including our 100th episode, as I talked about at the start of the video. So definitely check those out, and from the links in the description below. Hope to see you there. And if you like any of this content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for all kinds of Rules of Villainy content. And yeah, we will see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, happy questing.